This is a certified hood classic.
Another one.
Well, what do you say we get thrown out of an Applebee's?
All week long.
There it is. The gavel has been hit. And,
It's spoken, Creed.
Yes, it has spoken. It is time to all rise and order in Z Court. We got a case. Brand new week. It's time to start. Just telling Mikey, start wearing purple, wearing purple.
It's the way you do it. It's the way you do it.
Yes. Yes.
Good to see everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. And hopefully we got a great week of court lined up. A rare occurrence, I hear from the guys in the truck happening right now.
Yeah.
Licking live?
Yeah, over in Licking. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm guessing it's a jury trial. So why don't let's jump over there. Just we'll see. We'll see if it's good
Get
or
a
not.
feel for what's happening, Captain.
Exactly. Again, we don't get many of these,
That's
so
what gives you.
let's see.
I don't know if it's still here, but there used to be a law that if you had your cat outside in Newark, you had to have it on a leash. There's a whole bunch of different funny laws out there. You can't tie your pet alligator to a fire hydrant in Mississippi. You can't fish for whales on Sunday in Cleveland. Yes, some of those.
Is somebody
laws are
challenging
funny,
the unlicensed dog thing that we joke about?
and you may
so much?
disagree with it and say, why am I taking my cat on a leash if I'm taking my cat outside? Have you ever tried to put a cat on a leash? It doesn't always go very well.
Look at the bailiff.
But even if you disagree with that, the law says you have to put a leash on the cat.
He was legit just asleep.
Is this
So if you follow the
cat on a
law
leash
that the
case?
judge gives you like that, and then you apply the facts to the law that is provided,
I thought
you
that
will
was
return a guilty
going to be a
verdict.
DUI too, Shells, but
Again, I ask that you use your common sense in your deliberations and see what makes sense here. And I submit to you that it is a guilty verdict because the defendant did on November 5th, 2022, in Licking Township, Licking County, Ohio, operate a motor vehicle while impaired due to alcohol consumption.
Okay.
what?
All right.
What is the two have to?
I
Who
have
would be
no
One of
idea.
the
Anybody?
instructions you will get from the judge on the law is about this refusal to submit to a test. And remember, the one test that the defendant could have used to say, see, I'm not impaired. I am not under the influence of alcohol. The one test that we would not be here for if he had taken that and had tested 0-0.
Had a guy on OP
But
Live.
the instruction that you're going to
this week
receive
he
tells
thought
you
he was
that
drunk and blew
if
a
you find that the
0.00.
defendant did indeed refuse to submit to that test, you may consider that evidence along with all the other facts, all the other circumstances and
Let her
evidence
go.
in deciding whether or not the defendant was indeed under the influence of alcohol. Thank you, Eric.
Are these closing or opening?
I'm guessing closing. And Pamela, only if it's
Members
tied
of the
to
jury,
a,
you've heard the evidence and the
only if
arguments
it's
of counsel.
tied to a
Court and jury have separate
Fire hydrant.
functions.
fire hydrant.
The jury decides the disputed facts, and the court provides you with the
The ad.
instructions of law. It is your sworn duty to accept these instructions and apply the law as I give it to you. You're not permitted to change the law or to apply your own idea of what you think the law should be. The case before you began with the filing of a complaint. The complaint informs the defendant that he has been charged with a crime. You may not consider the fact that it was filed
Bailiff
for
was
any
sleeping.
purpose. A plea of not guilty is a denial of the charge and puts at issue all the essential elements charged in that complaint. The defendant is presumed innocent until his guilt is established beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant must be acquitted.
Right.
I
Convinces
can't
you beyond a reasonable doubt of
I can't
every
believe
essential
she
element charged.
was
Where does
so strange with the
Reasonable
closing
doubt
argument.
is present when,
Yeah, at
after
what
you have
point
carefully
could that have
considered and
worked
compared
in?
all the
That's what I'm-
evidence, you cannot say you are
I'm
firmly
dying to know,
convinced
and
of the
now
truth
we'll
of the
never
charge.
know because
Reasonable doubt is doubt based on reason and common sense. Reasonable doubt is
Right.
not mere possible doubt because everything relating to human affairs or depending
Can't put a
upon
freak
moral
on a
evidence
leash.
is open to some possible or imaginary doubt. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof of such character that an ordinary person would be willing
We knew
to
he was
rely
guilty when he
and
was
act
walking a
upon
cat
in
on
the
a
most
leash
important
on a
of
Wednesday
the
night.
person's own affairs.
Yeah, Judge George is not one of the
Evidence
most
is all the testimony
happiest,
recieved from the
of the,
witnesses,
bunch.
the exhibits submitted
Very
during the trial,
deadpan.
and any facts that the court requires you to accept as true. You may consider both direct and circumstantial evidence. You must decide from all the direct and circumstantial evidence taken together whether the state has proven all of the elements of the charged offense beyond a reasonable doubt.
Angela, thank you.
Direct
Getting us
evidence
going.
is the testimony given by a witness who has seen
Gary,
or
right
heard the
behind
facts
you,
about
too.
which the witness testifies. It includes exhibits
Gary,
submitted into
Angela,
evidence during
thank
the
you.
trial and stipulations that you are instructed to accept.
You're
as
on the
fact.
monetary monorail on a
Circumstantial
Monday.
evidence is the proof of facts or circumstances by direct evidence from which you may reasonably infer other related or connected facts that naturally and logically follow according to the common experience of people.
What
To
kind
infer
of
or
trouble?
to make an inference is to reach a reasonable conclusion of fact that you may, but are not required to make from other
Happens.
facts that you find have been established by direct evidence. Whether an inference is made rests entirely with you. The evidence does not include any statement made by counsel during trial unless such statement was an admission or agreement of certain facts.
That's fun.
The opening statements and closing arguments are not evidence.
Double F.
They are designed to assist
Oh,
you in
Fred,
evaluating.
good to see you again.
The evidence does not include any statements that were stricken by the court or that you are instructed to disregard. You must not speculate why an objection was sustained to any question or what the answer to that question might have been, because these are questions of law and rest solely with the court. You are the judges of the facts, the credibility of the witnesses, and the weight
You know,
of the evidence.
he's just reading through
To
the
weigh the
instructions
evidence,
Yeah.
you must
and let them
consider
go,
the
right?
credibility of the witnesses.
Yeah, it's
You
just
will
giving the
use-
jury instructions at this
I kind of
point.
want to hang out here and see if they. Well, we just don't know. We'll go over here.
That's all I need.
I have a
need to
feeling
give
we
me
missed a
that.
good one there.
So yes, you were right about you. You
Yeah, we've
understood the
never
calendar better
seen
than
that,
we did. So yes, this Thursday is the third Thursday.
That attorney, that woman
You're gonna
attorney.
be on the
No,
phone
We always
as
see
well.
the fat old guy.
And we don't want any.
She's the
positive
Meg of the
UA.
bunch for Ohio. She's
If
Ohio's
you
Meg.
have been to Reflections, Aisha, please sign a release.
Kenny F. and
So-
Powers in the church pews today.
At first I thought that was a guy. You know, how they put those vests on the
Come back
people that are
March
like
6th is what we're
suicidal.
saying?
It's a woman.
So I
No,
just
the
wanna make
guy.
sure that
Right there.
Johnson says
Okay.
two things. Sign a release and also.
Is it like one of those green things they put on if you're suicidal?
Was that Murphy? Whose voice was that?
That was Mr.
Oh,
Murphy. I
it's
think
sorry,
he
Your
was
Honor.
communicating with someone who's.
Apologies, Your
He
Honor.
was
Uh,
multitasking.
Hi, Ellen.
And then we'll go to March 6th. You need that written down?
Yeah, she does. We gotta have you here March 6th, Aisha, at 9:30. So I don't want to put you in jail. I really don't want to.
Nice putting in. He's
Or
giving the
you
jury
want it, or
instructions,
you-
so they're leaving.
Two things.
Yeah, they're gonna leave.
Reflections.
That was the end. I'm pretty
You
sure.
need to sign a release of information. And then call.
Unless they leave it on.
So Brian.
I don't know. We'll see. Meg actually, it's still. I just saw one the other day from a couple of
Between
weeks.
8 and 2:30.
Yeah, somebody had left in the comments that we had missed Meg a couple of days prior to us mentioning her.
Let me tell you, she hasn't changed at all.
Thursday the
saw.
16th.
I want the guy with no sleeves to come up here. I feel like that
Yeah.
guy's got a story to tell.
Oh, he's got to be in for something
Done,
good.
You're gonna have problems on the 6th.
So am I done here?
Yes. What did I tell you? No positive UAs. Don't miss your
Got
phone
it.
call.
Well, thank you for making it clear, so I know what to do.
Good.
Hey, we've seen her before. That girl's been in there before.
Angie Miller.
Was she the one that tested
So.
the day that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And went to
she's
jail
here.
that day.
I was
Yeah, we
gonna
watched
say,
her get
that
locked
would be
up.
the first time you weren't
She
here.
loves
That's
those
the gal.
toboggans.
She's the most dependable human being that ever lived.
And this is
I still
Anthony
can't.
Miller.
I just love him.
And we finally have all the paperwork together. She's been in treatment for a period of time, but I'm gonna hand up a petition.
Yeah.
for the
True
first
stuff,
time.
Oh, good.
I had a chance to review this over the phone with my client. She also had a chance to review it and sign it.
Oh yeah.
She's although this is paperwork from Cedar Grove, it's Cedar Grove and PA.
Okay,
She's in
good.
treatment.
Yeah.
But I have the petition paperwork, specifically the recommendation for deferred. I also have the signed commitment to treatment. She's currently at Cedar Grove in treatment. I had a lengthy discussion about her obligations to the court, that she's going to need to be in contact with Miss O'Brien.
You think the
I'm
judge is going to say
not
something about that guy
sure
showing up
how
at court with no
Department of
sleeves?
Licensing
Not here.
handles
God,
deferreds when they're filed.
Maybe you got to have a
after
little bit of
license
decorum,
suspension has
right?
already taken place.
Talking about a
Technically,
judge
with
that
the
leans back
suspension,
and looks
but
at
that's
his
going to be
phone while there's
an
court
issue between
going
her
on.
and DOL.
Like this.
Yeah, but
You
it's
don't
like this thing,
care.
you have to have an interlock, don't you, when you're undeferred? Or
You
not?
have to have an interlock, but it changes it from a suspended status.
To a special whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it gets rid of
I
SR
see
22,
coal.
but I'm not certain again.
See
So
everybody
what we're
just
talking
run.
about, Ms. Miller, is we can't do anything about
DOL.
your suspension,
I
right?
believe it.
Whatever the DOL computer says, but for purposes of a deferred, of course, you need to have the interlock anyway. So in theory, they're gonna give you credit for any loss of time, but we don't know that till you talk to them.
And Your Honor, what I didn't fill in was the amount. I thought it was around 2,000.
Bob and Donna here flirting.
Somewhere around there, and the
I
rate
like that.
per month for her to start making payments.
More flirting.
But I did explain this is for 5 years.
Oh. Yeah, there should be I thought there was an order in here, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's both a petition and an order.
As a brand, gosh.
Oh, wow.
Well,
so AJ, you are working. You got yourself a
Explains
good
that.
job, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that the supervision fee is 2,000 flat, 2,000. And
Take care, it's
I don't know
America.
why we can't divide that over 60 months. Anybody know why?
no, did he? I
Melissa,
missed
you
it.
think that-
I had him on
Well,
almost all
yeah,
morning.
and it's won't get dismissed unless it's paid off.
That's
so,
true. That's true.
And I don't think district court items accrue interest, so it should
No.
just be whatever the fee is divided by
Razor
presumably
Ramon.
60 months.
Yeah,
there.
that gets you to 33 and
The bad guy.
$33 a month. But what your attorney is saying, so the $2,000 is super.
Well, seeing how we're moving
anyway,
kind of slow
what your
here, you
attorney
got
is
some
saying
first
is you
appearances going
understand
on.
that you
I do. I can.
stipulated that
I'm gonna keep an
the
eye on
for all
sleeves though for a few
offenses,
minutes.
Yeah,
It's
do it.
something
Yeah,
we
watch
can
for him to come up
represent
and
on the issue of bail and conditions.
over here to call it.
Can we lower my bail?
Sure.
Why not?
Said it yet. That's what we're talking about, what it's gonna be.
Yeah, but whatever you're going to say, I want it
Your Honor,
lowered
the city's
already.
asking for standard release conditions that she not return to Walmart. She has 5 outstanding warrants from Fife Municipal, Federal Way Municipal, Gig Harbor Municipal, and Pierce District Court. I would ask for bail in the amount of $1,000 to secure appearance, and if she is
He's not an
released, that she would
NFL
clear out
ref.
those warrants.
Angela, how would he know?
Hey, Frazier,
What's
Maybe,
certainly decided
okay.
to-
Your Honor, we're asking for her to be PR'd on this matter and allow her to place in the condition that she get those
Script
warrants taken
reality
care of by the
TV
next
wrestling
pretrial
now.
date that's set.
This lady's really bad at stealing from
hang
Walmart.
on one second. I didn't see
Yeah,
any
I'd
Pierce
say so.
County warrants.
Really
Did I miss
bad.
those?
There's
Just
one Fife
Self go
Federal Way in Harbor.
It looks like the Pierce District one
she
might have
does
been
look like Chelsea
quashed
Handler.
more recently.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Feed
let me see here. The defendant's been in the wind for over 2 years. She's got a $3,000 warrant on a theft 3 out of 5. We have a $5,100 warrant out of Federal Way on a theft 3. We got a $5,100 warrant out of Gig Harbor on a theft 3. I'm setting bail at $2,500. Set the following conditions of
Not
release here for a pretrial.
Hey, she's doing such a great job.
1 p.m. via Zoom. A readiness May 9th at 2 p.m. via Zoom. A jury trial May 26th at 9 a.m. Conditions: have no criminal law violations. Report any change of address to the court clerk and your attorney. If you do make bail, immediately meet with your attorney. Complete your attorney application, get it filed. Do not enter any Walmart store anywhere.
Oh,
And
in the
before
country.
pretrial, clear your warrants.
Anywhere in the whole
Wow.
continental
And
United
Gig
States.
Harbor.
Permaban.
If you want to plead guilty, as you said, you can speak with your attorney. They can put the matter on any day at 10 o'clock if you're in custody.
What do you think the first time you got arrested, you'd be
So
like, you know
I will
what?
leave them to come up
Maybe
with
I'm
you, and
done.
we'll send over the paperwork. Thank you.
Maybe
Your
I'm
Honor,
not
I
cut
believe
out
you
for
set the
this.
out of custody dates.
Did I?
Yeah, for the main.
Did. I am so sorry.
You better have it delivered to your house then.
Wrong dates.
You Better set up that delivery.
Retrial,
She's looking for things to
February
steal right now.
28th.
Yeah, she's trying to see what she could leave
1
with.
p.m.
Oh, is that her partner in crime? Is that like a
Readiness.
husband back there?
Oh,
March
could be.
14th
Team?
at 2 p.m.
Looks like
And jury trial, March 31st at 9 a.m. I got that changed. Thank you so much, counsel. Send
that
over
guy
that
doing back
paper
there?
for you. Thank you.
Who's doing like
Who do we
some
have next?
Tonight, Your Honor.
it was an odd interaction that they had. It almost looked like she was talking, but yeah,
You
beautiful
are
heart.
Tyson Michael Knight. Is that correct?
Michael Knight?
Mr. Knight,
Oh my God.
court issued a warrant for your arrest on
From Knight Rider?
February 1st, when you failed to appear on a charge of driving while suspended in the third degree.
Jumping
Court found probable
things
cause at that
with
point
your
in
car.
time. Quash the warrant at this point in time. Does this case have an offer, Mr. Fox?
It does, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, the prosecutor has just stated that if you want to admit a traffic infraction, a civil matter, and pay a $200 fine,
Stay out of
he
it.
is willing to amend to it and eliminate these criminal charges. You want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll grant the city's motion to amend a no valid operator's license second degree, find the infraction committed.
He's Michael
and
Knight.
impose
He
a
doesn't
$200
need.
fine. Criminal case.
He's a
is
renegade.
no bond,
He drives,
come
right?
back
Like a
to us
Tesla.
in
Yeah.
this case.
Yeah.
He's
You
not
do
even
have to pay
touching it
$200.
most
It's got to
time.
be paid within
Right.
60 days unless you set up a payment. We'll send over a judgment that explains that to you. I anticipate you're going to be seen at 11 o'clock for 3 district court warrants and at 1 o'clock for 2 Longview warrants. And then in
Oh, no.
Superior Court for a no bail warrant. I don't know what time Superior Court does. As far as the Kelso Municipal Court is concerned, we're done. Okay. Thank you.
Does Walmart use the same
Joseph
like,
Rangel, Your Honor.
identification methods like in international airports where it scans people's faces?
You're
They know
Joseph
who's
Duran Rangel,
been
is that
banned?
correct?
Well, when you work there,
Rangel, I have. to
Checking
form you a
yourself
statement
out.
of defendant upon
they
appeal
do have
for
those
the
face
charge of
cameras.
criminal
I wonder if
trespass
they
in the
are.
first
I
degree.
wonder.
You got a chance to review this. with
Some
your
recognition software of some sort?
attorney. Did you understand it?
Oh, yeah.
And did you authorize your attorney to sign this document for you?
Yes, I did.
The elements of this crime are that you within the city of Kelso unlawfully entered or remained in the building belonging to another. Do you understand those are the elements?
Yes.
By pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a speedy public
Well,
trial.
I mean, I would
in
think
front
that
of
they
an impartial
would.
jury. You're giving up
There's a
your right to
lot of
remain
people that
silent.
get
Giving up the right
Yeah.
to hear questions.
Get trespassed.
prosecutors, witnesses to
You can't
testify.
remember them all.
To call your own witnesses, to compel witnesses to appear at no expense to you, giving up your right to be presumed innocent, and force the prosecutor to prove each and every element of the crime charged beyond a reasonable doubt, giving up your right to appeal from the determination of guilt, using your trial rights, giving them up by pleading guilty. You understand?
Mayor, great to
Maximum
see you.
potential
Thank you.
sentence is 360
And Mass
days in
Transit
jail and
appreciates your support.
fine, plus 5,250 in assessments. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, prosecutors making a recommendation of 7 days in jail, 357 suspended, and $300 fine, with 4,700 suspended, credit for time served. They're asking that I set conditions of probation, that you have no criminal law violations, that you don't go to the Kelso McDonald's. You understand, that is their recommendation.
Yes.
And you understand, I'm not bound by anybody's recommendation. I can give you any sentence up
It's
to the
so
max.
true, though.
Yes.
I can put you on probation for up to 2 years. I can impose costs, fees, and assessments. And if you're not a citizen, this conviction could result in deportation, exclusion from admission, or denial of naturalization under the laws of the United States. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, then to the charge of criminal trespass in the first degree, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Taking this plea freely and voluntarily.
Hector, that's just another day
Nobody
at
threatened you to
Walmart.
plead guilty.
No.
Anybody
Happy
made any
somebody didn't
promises
drop trowel and
to
poop
get you
on
to
the
plead
floor.
guilty Other
in
than
front of you.
prosecutors promised recommendation.
No.
I have a statement that says on February 6, 2023 in Kelso, Washington, I knowingly and unlawfully entered and remained in McDonald's. Is that true?
Lord
Yes.
Christmas.
Had they given you a trespass notice telling you that you were excluded from that property?
He just said McDonald's.
I got they wrote me a trespass ticket while I was in
Well.
still the parking lot of the McDonald's.
And then, as I left, they came later on after that and arrested me.
So when you went inside, did you know that they had told you you could not come into their property? Excuse me?
I mean, I wasn't told before to not enter the McDonald's by the Kelso police. It
You
was
sure?
afterwards.
Had McDonald's ever told you not to come in?
No, I mean, that day, yeah, the day I got arrested.
Okay, so they told you not to come back and you didn't, or to leave and you didn't?
No, I did leave. I left right away. I left, into the,
Counsel, he's not admitting to the crime.
Your Honor, I think I mean, right now, as far as the trespass, he understood that he trespassed. I think the question is the detail on if he was picked up later for trespassing or whether he was actually trespassing at that moment. I think right now he's saying that he left and he was arrested later in regards to the trespass, not necessarily that he didn't trespass.
When you were inside.
He's
the
having
building,
mixed confusion.
You know that you weren't supposed to be there.
no, I didn't know that.
He's not admitting the crime, counsel.
Well, yes.
You might have had some of that
Okay.
devil's lettuce on his last Big Mac.
If you say yes, and I'd accept it. All we're doing is going to sentencing. Do you understand that?
I think it's just I mean, the way
He's
the
very
question is
confused.
being asked, Your Honor, in regards to the confusion for this, I mean, in the report.
Maybe
Okay.
Mo Howard's low
Do you want to
IQ
plead
has
guilty to
something to
this
do
crime or
with it.
not?
Yes.
Hey, think about it. You need to
Okay,
make
let's
it
do it
your
this way.
fingerprint.
You
and
admit that they would
fingerprint
have
when you go
sufficient
through
evidence
the,
to prove that you trespassed on
turnstile
their
there.
property if we went to a jury trial and the prosecutor presented all of their evidence.
Yes.
And you want to give up any potential defense you've got, go ahead and plead guilty. Is that true? Okay, I've had a chance to review the probable cause statement, and given the defendant's statement, I'll find that there is a factual basis for the plea that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. I'll accept it and find the defendant guilty of criminal trespass in the first degree. We will go to sentencing, Mr. Trial.
Your Honor, I'm asking for the court to follow the recommendation and impose 7 days jail credit for time served and he not go to McDonald's in Kelso.
Mr. Frazier.
And Your Honor, we're asking for you to follow, or for the court to follow the recommendation and waive the fees under Ramirez. Our client understands that he did not, that he's not supposed to be at McDonald's and he is not going to appear there again. He understands what he did wrong in this matter.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say before I sentence you, Mr. Rangel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I have a question for both counsel. We'll start off with Mr. File. Mr. File, wasn't the defendant convicted on November 19th of 2021 of theft in the third degree and given a condition that he not have any subsequent criminal violations?
Uh-oh.
No.
Yes, he was.
And on February 20th of 2022 in Kelso Municipal Court also, was he not convicted of trespass in the second degree and given a condition that he not have any subsequent criminal violations?
Yes, he was.
And isn't this now a violation of both those judgment and sentences?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Mr. Frazier?
Well,
Matt, hold on tight.
Are you asking, is it a violation, Your Honor?
Yeah. I mean, on November 19th of 2021, I gave the defendant 7 days in jail with 357 suspended for 24 months on a theft 3. And one of the conditions, as it is with every single judgment and sentence, is that you have
He go in
no
jail for 300 and
subsequent
some
criminal
days.
violations on any act committed after imposition of sentence.
Kind of sounds like
Same
Judge
thing,
Hayes is
February 20th of 2022.
drop the hammer.
I gave the defendant
McHammer.
6 days in jail with 84 suspended on a trespass 2 with that same condition.
At the dig.
Hasn't he now
Hey,
violated
Freddie.
the condition of his judgment and sentence in both of those cases?
I think that's a fair thing to say, Your Honor. I think there is a question, however, on how you know, the perception of the charge happened in regards to him understanding where he was at that time, which he understands he made a mistake clearly in this matter. But I don't think this was any type of
He didn't know where he was.
Quincy, come
trespass
on,
for
man.
McDonald's. I think that this was
I thought
a
this was
mistake,
Burger
a clear
King. My
mistake
fault.
that he understands now is wrong.
Collins.
But
Yeah.
I think it would be fair to say that it was a violation. However,
going?
I don't
Okay,
think it was
welcome
intended
back.
for him
Welcome
to
back.
trespass in this matter. Judge Biden's
What
explanation to
you're
you.
saying is that he did not know
He
that,
did not know, yes.
and therefore he did not commit the crime.
He did, Your Honor, he did admit to that, Your Honor. I mean, the thing about it is just the confusion and understanding.
Could ask him
of
70
at that
times,
time.
Your Honor, but
He
he
made a
did admit
mistake.
to it
Let
eventually.
me get down to a more specific question. If I gave him 7 days, in 2021, and 6 days, in 2022, why am I just going to give him 7 days again and ignore the fact that he's
Yeah, Quincy.
violating both of those judgment and sentences?
Explain that
Mr.
one.
Fire?
I have no reason why you should ignore those.
Mr. Frazier?
I'm not saying that you should ignore him, Your Honor, but I think 7 days is time that he would have to serve for this case. I don't think that it's
No, it's a second
that he
offense.
should have
Quincy,
more
come
time
on,
than 7
man.
days. I think 7 days is reasonable.
Oh, your second DUI. I'll give you the same thing you did last time. How about that? Is that how
This
we're
is
gonna
his third arrest in less than 24 months.
Okay, give me a second.
I mean, he's suspended like 300 and some days the first time. Then he suspended 80 some days the second time.
Hey,
And now here we are once again, just giving him the same thing over and over. 7 days, 7 days,
I mean,
7 days.
Listen, Quincy's
Okay.
doubling down on it at least. I mean, he ain't
I'm
budging.
going to impose a $5,000 fine with all of it suspended for 24 months on condition that the defendant have no criminal law violations and that he not enter the Kelso McDonald's. My sentence on the trespass is 27 days in jail with 337 suspended, and I calculated it this way. I'm not going to bring those other two sentences up, but I'm certainly not going to give him less time this time. And I'm taking into consideration those other two cases. If I took the sentences from the other two cases and added them on to 10 days on this case, I come up with 27 days, and that's how I've done it. Credit for time served, of course. I'll send over the judgment and sentence. Thank you.
27 days.
That's it at the jail.
He's not too
Yes,
happy
Your
about
Honor.
that, Creed.
Thank you very much.
No, but
Thank you, Your Honor.
I mean, Mr. Frazier there, he did pretty good on that.
He didn't back down. He stayed on it.
So I give him credit. I think that Judge Hayes has some respect for him because he.
So he's got to pull at least 20 more days.
Right.
Over here, the guy with no sleeves was the last man standing in the courtroom, and he stands up and just starts talking. I don't know if he's testifying from here or what exactly is going on. So let's just find out.
It's asked to come.
SASGICUN.
Is he in the wrong courtroom?
Oh, that'd
I
be
want
funny.
to say he's on this afternoon's calendar. I'm not positive.
I was making sure. He's on the 27th.
I could have swore you guys said the 13th before I went to. That's okay. On this, I don't have to memorize.
It's very fresh.
I moved in with my sister so I could go get a job.
Here and down?
No,
Oh, in Tacoma.
yeah, because
That hair
I
boy.
can get a job at the cemetery or a couple other places like doing construction. And, I just want a job. I'll be a pretty-
beautiful hair.
Job at the
Great.
cemetery.
I can't
Creed.
remember the tribe of Puyallup.
Sure.
People are dying to get in.
Emerald Queen Casino over.
Yeah. I was thinking of that one up towards Everett. is what I was thinking of.
My sister, she works with tribal council. So like I've been doing the,
Oh,
culture
you're
classes.
in.
Huh?
As long as your sister is in, you're in.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do.
So we've got you updated, your next court date is 2 weeks from
2 weeks from today? Okay.
Well,
I just
Mary.
could've swore I remembered
It's
you
2
guys
weeks
saying
early
something
for
on the
court,
13th.
Creed.
I was like, oh.
Oh, is it 2 weeks early?
I'm going by
2 weeks
my
early.
memory, But if you're supposed to be in treatment, make sure if you're in.
Yeah, you
any
got
treatment
dressed up
place,
today.
Sign any releases.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as soon as I get back
And-
Monday.
That those get to me into the court.
Okay.
But I don't have your file, but yeah, your name seems to trigger some memories that, yeah, you're supposed to be in treatment, but I don't remember.
No, I graduated treatment.
Oh,
already. I went to Sundown and I graduated.
So down in Yakima?
Yeah, it was a great place. I liked it. My counselor was kind of a strict one, but I needed
You
it.
needed that.
Yes, I did. I will admit.
You're
that.
in court, but you're
There was
basically
no BS, I'll
at
tell
the
you that
coffee
right now.
counter at the local little
She was really
diner on
good.
the
I
corner.
wanted
Yeah.
to leave some more
You know.
in-
2 weeks early. Heh,
Sundown,
not a biggie.
they-
Come on, let's
They
chat a
intend to
bit.
get you successfully sober.
Yeah, and I had to ask my mom to pay $3,000 for my last week because my insurance wouldn't pay it. But she said,
Ooh.
yeah, I paid her back as soon as I got out. I had my check built up from the tribe.
So you're a few out, are you?
Yep.
Oh, I bet he does,
Yeah,
Jack.
I'm doing the culture classes. I'm going to learn the language.
Oh yeah.
I've been helping my sister get medicine, obviously, because I've been picking devil's.
He's got
Club
a
or
suit of
Painkillers or
armor.
whatever, 'cause she makes it like really good painkiller and salve with it. And yeah, she has me go in and pick it so she don't get stuck. I'm like, thanks, sis. But
Do
yeah,
you
I've been
think that
learning how to
maybe
make
has really good
medicine, do all
painkillers at home, or am I
that's
not
what we do.
following correctly?
Yeah, I wanted to learn the culture and I wanted to learn the language. I'm going to do
Some
language
sort of
classes when I get
salve that I guess is made by the
Yeah, well, I wanna learn
indigenous
the
people
prayer
of the
language,
area.
you know, how to kill an animal to sacrifice it, you know, thanking it for its sacrifice. And just
That
your
this
little-
judge shoots a shit with
wanna learn
anybody,
culture.
Angela. That's what I love
Yeah,
about
that's
the
very
court.
good.
He just
Yeah,
loves to
my
talk
job
with
at the
folk.
Cemetery pays $27 an hour. Pretty good. I just got to wait 2 weeks because it's one of those jobs where you work at it for like 2 years and it gives you a reference. to the
Okay,
other
so
job.
is he saying that is there a
Go
casino? I'm
to school.
guessing that they're talking about. His
Yeah,
sister works at.
he said that he had known somebody already in the tribe, so that's why Judge was like, "Oh, so you already, kind of got your in."
You got you in once you're in.
Has been very successful.
Yes, they are, right. Yeah,
It's a good
I have
job.
limited casino, $40. If I lose that, I'm done.
You shouldn't be there anyway.
Well, when I got out, my dad was staying there because my sister's house in the pig died. So, yeah. And then I went to help.
This judge is
We'll see
great.
you on the
Clean
20.
and sober, so we're all good there.
I love this
See you
judge.
on the 27th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, seriously, I just love it. Oh,
And that's one of the fun things about jumping from courtroom to courtroom across this great land of ours. You never know what you're going to see.
ain't that the truth? Speaking of which,
No, okay. I always ask because typically if we've got a case where there's like, a warrant that's been out for a couple of years, usually it's either that person's been living right and hasn't had any contact with the police, or they've been locked up in prison. So I just didn't know which one it was with you. So apparently you were living right, not having any contact with the police, correct?
Yes.
Good.
until now.
Laying low.
You did show your proof of insurance back there to the satisfaction of the trooper, so I'm going to reflect that on your citation. If there's a conviction that gets entered, you won't be subject to an insurance-based
Good to
suspension.
see our
As far as
friends
the
in
criminal
Brazil.
charge of theft, how do you want to plead to that charge?
Where was you thieving from?
He's going to trespass her from somewhere.
All right. Well, Ms. Hayes, you're going to be released on your own recognizance, notified by mail of your next court date. You have a right to get a lawyer on both of these cases. You are eligible to ask the court to appoint counsel to represent you on the criminal matter, the theft charge. The other traffic charges are either minor misdemeanor or unclassified misdemeanor. They don't carry any possible jail terms, so you're not eligible to ask for an attorney on there. You can hire your own if you want. You can represent yourself.
All right, Jenny, lurk
but you
away.
do have the right to ask for
Lurk
court
all
appointed
you
counsel on the theft. And if you're going to do that, get the application form from the jail. They will not send it down here since you're getting out. It's not like Franklin County where a public defender just shows up in the courtroom. You have to take affirmative steps to secure counsel. So if you want to get a lawyer, deal with that well before the next time you're supposed to be in court. Understand? Any other questions today?
No.
Very well, Ms. Hayes. You may go with the officer. Thank you.
Don't forget, we have a members only tonight for members on We Gotta Chase starting at
Now we are ready
5:30
for Santa Catwall.
5:13. My guy will BRB.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Catwall?
Mr. Kettlewell.
And obviously, you're a native Nepali speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Understand a little bit of English?
Little bit.
Okay. You've been charged with two separate criminal complaints. In the first complaint, the Granville Police Department alleges that you were under the influence of alcohol or any drug of abuse and were carrying or using any type of a firearm or a dangerous ordinance. That's commonly known as weapons while intoxicated. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is up to a 180-day jail term, up to a $1,000 fine. The second charge
You had a rough
is having
morning
an open
or a
container of
great
alcohol
night?
in a motor vehicle. That's a minor misdemeanor, and the maximum penalty is a $150 fine. Do you want to enter pleas of not guilty to those charges today? Not guilty?
Not guilty, I think.
Okay. What's your address?
It is 2817 Bella Avenue.
Is it still the 2817 Bella Viaduct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that's in Columbus?
Yes, sir. So I'm just today or? But will they tell you if they're gonna come get me or not?
I'm going to go ahead and set a bond for you, but
Yeah,
I need to
he's-
look at the file first, so just
he's
bear
a
with
good
me,
judge.
okay?
He's a good judge. While he's looking at the files, let me go ahead and ask everybody to do us just a big favor real quick. Like this video if you would. We have a case-only channel called We Got a Case. If you would like to see nothing more but the cases, that's the place to do it.
But the charge didn't get filed until about 2.5 weeks ago.
I have to work before the board.
Are you employed, Mr. Katwal?
I.
Where do you work?
Yeah, it's a Licking County, it's Newark.
What's the name of the company you work for?
I work on L Brand.
Okay.
Limited.
I didn't know there was a charge for being drunk and having a weapon being like its own separate charge. I didn't know that one. Learn something new every day. You never know. He might have been getting funky. He might have been just getting crazy. Just getting nuts. Stansberry style.
All right.
Well played. Hello, Gary. Good to see you. Glad you're here.
Gary!
All right. I'm going to enter your pleas of not guilty. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. We're going to send you a letter telling you when to come back to court. You have the right to hire a lawyer by going out and retaining an attorney to get to represent you. But you also have the right to ask the court to give you an attorney for free, which we will do if you qualify based upon your income and your expenses. So if you want to get a lawyer by that method, get an application form from the jail there. They have those. But since you're going to be released, because I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, it'll be your job to turn it in. Next time you come back, we will have a Nepali interpreter so that we can communicate better. All right?
I'm going to register, right?
What's that?
I'm going to register, right?
Yeah, I'm going to release you today, but you have to come back at the next court date, and we'll send you a letter and tell you when that is. Do you have any other questions?
No, sir. I
Then,
have to
Mr.
work.
Katwal, you may go with the officer. Thank you.
Nepali,
Today, so
Nepali translators
Okay.
have to be hard to find.
Yeah, it'll take them a little while to process you out, but you'll get out today.
thank you, sir.
Did everybody
Daniel
behave
King.
themselves over
Yes,
Super
sir.
Bowl?
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. King?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Mr. King, you have a couple of cases here. One is was assigned to me, and you had failed to appear for a trial back in November. So we're going to set a bond on that one. But you got new charges as well that we need to deal with. So let's back it up a moment. You understand your rights in court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get a copy of the newest complaint?
Yes.
Did you read it? And do you understand what it is you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
It looks like it's an obstructing official business charge. It's a second-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty there is up to a 90-day jail term and up to a $750 fine. How do you want to plead?
Not guilty.
And your current address, sir?
218 Hudson Avenue.
Well, it's all right.
City and state?
We ain't saying anything
Newark,
bad.
Ohio.
Are you employed?
Yeah, I work at Owens Corning.
Over on the Case Avenue plant?
That's a good job.
Plant, yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been over at Owens?
Spring will be 3 years.
3 years? All right. And what shift do they have you working?
Second. From 2 to midnight.
Yeah. What department are you in? Which department do you work in?
Oh, I'm wool.
You're in the wool shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows a lot about the that company. He's like digging in deep.
Fun fact: Creed grew up not 20 minutes away from Corning, New York. And,
okay, so how come you didn't show up for court back in November?
I had moved. I was at my mom's house at 143, and I didn't ever get no papers.
Yeah, we sent it out to the 143 North William Street. Oh, no, actually, we sent it to the Hudson Avenue address back in November. It did come back to us as not deliverable as addressed. So that's the same address you just gave me. So I don't know whether you got issues with the post office, but one way or another, you need to make sure that you clear up
Had a
any
little fight with the post office a
issues that
couple
you're
years
having as far
ago.
as getting your mail is concerned. All right.
Yes, sir.
The mail.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on both cases. The older case that you had the warrant out for failing to
Classic
appear,
licking.
that's already been assigned to me. We'll schedule a new trial date, send you notice by mail of when that's going to be. The other case will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial.
No, Hector, I
and you'll
watched
get notice
one
by
game
mail
and
of
it
that
was
as
only
well.
about 3/4 of
You
the
have the right to hire counsel of your choosing if you like. You also have the right to apply for court-appointed counsel and can get the application form at the jail. However, since I'm releasing you on your own recognizance, the jail is not going to turn that thing in for you. That'll
South
be your
Carolina's got
job.
pretty loose,
The main thing
laws.
is don't wait until the day of your
I've
trial to deal with
glove
getting an attorney. Do you understand?
I can afford to take my own.
That's fine. You don't even have to get a lawyer if you don't want one. But if you're going to get one, either by hiring one or going court appointed, deal with it right away. Don't wait. Any questions?
No, sir.
Very well. You may go with the officer, Mr. King. Thank you.
I don't know what the laws are in North Carolina, but there's plenty of people riding around with guns on their gun racks that are
All right,
behind them in
James
their
Kramer.
truck window. So,
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Kramer?
Kramer.
I'm Mr. Kramer. You
Kramer
understand your rights
versus
in court
Kramer.
today?
oh,
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kramer, you have two separate cases. You have a criminal case and a traffic case. The traffic case, it's alleged that on or about February the 11th of this year at approximately 9:16 p.m., you were operating a 99 Jeep on State Route 13, Outpost 6 within Licking Township, Licking County, Ohio, and that you did so while under the influence of alcohol and or a drug of abuse. It's further alleged that you refused to submit to a chemical test and have previously been convicted of OVI within the last 20 years. That serves to double any mandatory minimum jail term. You've been charged with driving under an OVI suspension. That's a first-degree misdemeanor with mandatory minimum 3 days jail, $250 fine, and at least a 1-day license suspension. However, could be up to a $1,000 fine, up to a 1-year license suspension, and up to 180 days. And then also you've been charged with reckless operation. That's a minor misdemeanor.
Jeez, this guy worked for the bomb squad.
How do you want to plead to
wearing?
those charges today, Mr. Kramer?
I want to plead no contest.
Now, a no contest plea does not admit guilt. It does, however, admit the truth of the facts that have been alleged against you. If you plead no contest today, the state would no longer be required to overcome your presumption of innocence by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. You would be waiving your right to have a trial with either a judge or a jury. And if the facts that you're agreeing with as being true that are located here in the court file are enough to support or sustain these charges, I will find you guilty if you plead no contest. Do you understand that?
Okay.
If you don't want to be found guilty, you can enter a plea of not guilty today.
Yeah, let's go with not guilty.
What's your current address, Mr. Kramer?
It's 5556 Chrislin Hill Road, Thornville, Ohio,
What's your zip out there?
43076.
This guy.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I work for Window Nation. I am a subcontractor. I install windows and doors.
And how long have you been doing that?
Coming up on my second year.
Do they know you're in jail right now? Because it could be your last year.
All right. You also have a criminal case in which a single count complaint has been filed. It's alleged that on or about that same date, same location, same time that you, without privilege to do so, and with a purpose to hinder, obstruct, or delay the performance by a public official of any act authorized within the public official's official capacity, performed an act which hampered or impeded a public official in the performance of the public official's lawful duties. That's just a long-winded way of saying obstructing official business. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty there is up to 90 days in jail, up to a $750 fine. You want to go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty to that charge as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
He was drunk.
Now, you're eligible to ask the court to appoint an attorney to represent you at no cost, and you can get an application form there at the jail. However, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on the condition that you're not consuming alcohol or drugs. So since you are getting out, well, let's make sure there's
Thank
no
you for the
hold
fake
around
stars. So we appreciate that.
I'll be spinning those later at the water department. I guess he's.
No, it doesn't look like there's any holders on you. Because are you still on probation from your earlier OVI?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good.
Yeah, wasn't a big fan, Carol.
Oh, it was lousy.
All right, so I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on both of these cases, on the condition that you're not consuming alcohol or drugs while the bonds are in place.
405 Mayor.
The
See you
matters
then.
will be randomly
Oh,
assigned to a
George.
judge set for trial. As of right now, these are not joined together. So theoretically, you could have two completely different court dates, different court times. You may even have two different judges. It's very likely that they'll be joined at some point, but they're not right now. So pay close attention to the paperwork that we're going to send you in the mail telling you when to be here.
Confusing.
You can hire counsel of your own choosing.
cases
That's
like
fine if you want
Yeah,
to do
this
that.
guy's
But you're also eligible to ask the court to appoint an
too
attorney
young
to
to be
represent
messing
you,
up
which
like
we would
this,
do at
man.
no
He's
cost to you
really
if
messing
you
up
qualify
bad.
based upon your income and your expenses. You can even get the application form there at the jail, but since I'm cutting you loose on a recognizance
He's like a
bond,
cocky
the
little.
jail's not going to turn that in for
Yeah.
you. That'll be your job. The key is to not wait until the day of your trial to deal with getting an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, any other questions today, Mr. Kramer?
Time, Vincent.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Then you may go with the officer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Luz.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yeah.
Mr. Luz, you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Former pro
Did you
wrestler,
get a copy of the
obviously.
complaint?
Yes, sir.
Did you read it and understand you've been charged with theft?
Yes, sir.
Shadow.
That's a first degree misdemeanor. It's up to 180 days jail, up to $1,000 fine. How do you want to plead?
Not guilty.
And what's your current address?
555 Worley Avenue, Newark.
Okay. Now, do you live there or do you use that as your mailing address?
No, I live there now.
Okay. And who do you live there with?
My friend William.
Okay. So just
Hey,
roommates.
William. Shut
Yeah,
up.
it's his house. He just rents a room.
Fair enough. All right. You'll be released on your own recognizance on the condition that you not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. We'll get this randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. Until and unless an attorney gets involved on your behalf, we're going to send those notices directly to you. So make sure your address is right on the bond that you'll sign down there, and make sure you can get mail at the Worley Avenue address. You
Thank
have
you,
the right
sir.
to go out and hire counsel of your choosing. You have a right to apply for court-appointed counsel,
Aw.
and you can even get the application form there at the
Man,
jail.
that Bud
But
Light commercial where they're
verify
dancing
something here.
while the call's on hold.
yeah, you're not being held on any other charges, so
Oh.
you should be released. Which
Wait.
means the jail's not going to send in your application for you. That'll be your job. It's important that you not wait until the day of your trial to address dealing with
Okay.
an attorney. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, any other questions today, Mr. Luz?
No, sir.
Then you may go with the officer. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lose, Mr. Loser.
Thomas Sutton.
I was kind of hoping we got to see that lovely lady behind the curtain.
Oh, you know she's gonna pop out and talk to Stansberry. Oh goodness gracious!
What in the
Good
world?
afternoon, sir. You Mr. Sutton?
Yes, I am.
And Mr. Sutton, do you understand your rights in court today?
I'm sorry.
Do you understand your rights in court today based on watching the video and going over the paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive a copy of the two complaints that were filed against you in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Looks like there's two counts. The first count alleges that on or about February the 13th of this year within the city of Heath in Lincoln County, Ohio, that you knowingly caused or attempted to cause physical harm to a family or household member. That's commonly known as domestic violence. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. Carries up to 180 days in jail, up to a $1,000 fine. The second count alleges that you, while voluntarily intoxicated, engaged in conduct or created a condition that presented a risk of physical harm to you or another person or to the property of another person and continued to so behave after a reasonable request to desist. That's commonly known as disorderly conduct, and it's a misdemeanor of the fourth degree. Carries up to 30 days, up to a $250 fine. So do you understand that too?
Yes, sir.
And how do you wish to plead to those charges, Mr. Sutton?
Guilty, sir.
You want to do a guilty plea? Well, before I can accept your guilty plea, I need to go over a few things with you. And if at any time you think to yourself, well, wait a minute, I don't want to plead guilty, I want to plead not guilty, that's fine. You can do it.
I'm surprised he come in with guilty. I'm not gonna lie.
You're eligible to ask for the court to appoint an attorney to represent you, which we would do at no cost to you if you qualified. You obviously have a right to go out and hire a lawyer if you want. Is it your intention to waive that right today?
That was my intention.
Okay. Now, I mentioned that the domestic violence is a first-degree misdemeanor. It carries up to a 180-day jail term, up to a $1,000 fine. But it's also what we call an enhanceable offense, which means if I accept your guilty plea today, and if I enter a conviction, if you were to be charged with domestic violence at any time in the future, whether it involved the same people, different people, whether it was Licking County, Flint County, Cuyahoga County, it doesn't matter. If you get charged a second time in Ohio with domestic violence after being convicted the first time, it is a felony offense. And felony charges carry potential prison terms. Do you understand?
I do.
So you're not looking at prison today because you haven't been convicted of anything just yet. But
You
if I
did
accept your
say
plea
it.
and enter a conviction, if you get charged in the future, you'd be looking at a possible prison term. Do you understand that?
Oh my god.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Now, you have the right to be represented by counsel. If you couldn't afford one, we give you one at absolutely no cost. If you qualified, you obviously have the right to hire an attorney if you like. But the benefit of having a lawyer is somebody who can advise you of any defenses that might be available to you, any motions that could be made on your behalf to improve your circumstances, and in general, look out for your best interest and try to get the best possible outcome. Was it your intention to waive your right to an attorney today?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sue, we'll need to do an attorney waiver on this as well once we get finished up with this colloquy. Mr. Sutton, even without a lawyer, as I mentioned, you have a right to a judge or
He's a morning drinker.
a trial with either a
Afternoon
judge or a jury.
drinker.
You understand?
Evening.
Yes,
I'm trying to
I
figure out
do.
who's
You
slow
also
enough he can
understand
get
that
his
at the
hands
trial,
on.
you could both cross-examine your accusers as well as compel or require your own witnesses to attend.
Yes, I do.
You have a right to present a defense at your trial by calling witnesses and introducing evidence, but you're not required to because
Yes, I
there's
do. Good to
there's
see
no
Chris.
requirement. It's not your burden to prove yourself innocent. They have to prove you guilty. Understand that?
Yes.
And you have a right not to testify if this thing went to trial. And if you decided that's what you wanted to do, it couldn't be held against you in any way. Do you understand that?
I do understand that.
Now, if you plead guilty, that's a complete admission of guilt. By tendering that plea, you admit to committing these two offenses. That means the state no longer
If he
has
pleads
to prove
guilty, he's
anything
got
in
to
order
tell
for
us
me
what
to
he
find
did,
you
right?
guilty. And it
I
also
think
means
so.
that you'd
I
be
wanna
giving
hear
up
more
those
of the
rights that we
story.
just discussed. Do you realize that?
I do realize that.
And if I accept your pleas and enter convictions here today, I'm going to impose sentence upon you as well. Do you have any questions about the maximum possible penalties that I relayed?
No, sir, I think that you've made it clear.
All right. Have you been subjected to any threats, promises, or other improper inducements to get you to do what you're doing here today?
It's a long story, Your Honor.
Let me break it down in simple.
He's not.
Has anybody threatened you with any physical harm or any other type of negative consequence if you didn't come in here and plead guilty?
No.
Has anybody promised you something of value or a benefit to you if you come in here and you plead guilty and waive your rights?
No, sir.
All right. Are you under the influence of any alcohol or illegal drugs right now?
I was drinking over the Super Bowl this evening. I don't know whether I'd still be intoxicated at the moment.
This evening?
Well, let me ask you a blunt question. Do you feel drunk?
No.
All right. Have you been able to understand my questions?
Yes,
All right. You understand why we're here, what it is we're doing?
I do understand.
All right. Mr. Sutton, do you take any medication that affects your ability to understand what's going on around you?
fan of the Eagles, Your Honor.
No.
And lastly, Mr. Sutton, are you a citizen of the United States of America?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let me take a quick look here at the court file. Sue's going to go over your attorney waiver form, and then I'll give you a chance to make a statement if you like.
Well, we.
He seems like a talker. Sue!
No, my Monday is complete.
Sue!
You see it?
Sue's looking great today.
Sorry, but I see it and I don't think you're gonna do anything.
No, I was gonna read it to you if you wanted me to.
That's fine, man.
Okay.
You satisfy me in every way, Sue. I'm just happy to see you today.
Okey doke. Thank you.
Sue, will you marry me?
He signed.
All right. Thank you, Sue.
I still laugh at how Stansbury and her get along compared to when she's a Judge George and not even say goodbye, really.
She could give two, and he doesn't care about her.
Yeah.
This guy's got a story to tell, man. He's got a story to tell. He's going to tell it.
I hope to God we get to
I
hear
feel
some of
it. It's a long story. There I
All right. Well,
was.
Mr. Sutton, you have a right to make a statement before the court passes sentence, although you're not required to. Was there anything you wanted to say, sir?
No, I don't think that anything that I say is gonna make any bearings on me doing what I did tonight.
All right. Well,
The
it
next
sounds to me like you had a
day.
little bit too much to drink and things got a little ugly,
2
correct?
o'clock in the afternoon, dude.
Yeah, sure did.
All right. Are you employed? Do you work?
No, sir, I retired at 62. I'm now 64.
And what did you do before you retired?
Excuse me. I was a forklift operator for Abbott Nutrition in Columbus.
And how long did you work for them?
I worked for them approximately 12 years.
Okay. And what did you do for them? You said you drove a forklift?
Yes, I loaded semis for shipment of product.
All right.
He's so great. I love this guy.
Yeah. And he's it seems super sweet. I mean, that's why I want to hear how bad things got, you know?
It got ugly.
Was there anything else you wanted to say before I make any
uglier than this
decisions
right
here?
now.
No, sir, I don't have anything else to say.
What time
So
of day
does your granddaughter live with you and your wife?
My granddaughter lives with me and my wife. Her husband lives there and my great grandson.
Oh my God.
Okay. How old is your great grandson?
He just turned 1 year old.
You're taking care
And
of
you
a
live over on
1-year-old?
Partridge Road?
Yes, sir.
Is it an apartment or is it a house?
This is a house.
Of learning doctors.
Now, is Sierra going to continue to live there at the house?
I hope not.
Honest.
Your Honor, I've been trying to get them out of my house. In my opinion, they don't pay rent. They don't help with the bills. They do buy some food, but
do they work? Do they have jobs?
He does not work. She does work at Kroger's.
Okay. Over in Heath?
In Office 79, yes, sir.
Sure. Yeah, I was there yesterday, actually.
You
may have seen her.
Them being in my household has really been an extreme bind on my wife and I's economy.
Now, does your wife still work or is she retired as well?
She has retired as well. She worked at the hospital
Disabled.
over here at Licking Memorial.
Okay.
She was a nurse?
She was a custodian.
I understand.
I just want them to get out of my house. They've become a burden.
What's Sierra's last name? Franks?
Sutton.
Oh, okay.
Imagine walking.
They have her
through
listed
Kroger,
as Sierra Franks.
running into.
That's her maiden name.
Gotcha.
Her husband's a real POS, Your Honor.
He always steals all of my milk and cereal. And
I got up and all the Lucky Charms were gone. I was mad as hell. We were having buffalo chicken dip.
All right. One other thing that I need to talk to you about. I talked to you about the fact that the domestic violence charge is an enhanceable offense, which means if I accept your plea and enter a conviction today, any future charges that if they were filed against you would be felony. But another corollary consequence of the domestic violence conviction is it would be unlawful for you to be able to possess, use, have, or otherwise carry any type of a firearm or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay. All right. Does that affect your decision about wanting to change or to enter pleas of guilty?
No, sir. However, I must tell you that I do have firearms on my premises.
Well, here's what's going to need to happen. Either A, your wife's going to need to put him in a safe, a gun safe that you don't have access to, or it sounds to me like you're probably going to have to sell them.
We've had a couple people reach out and say they're from Licking or they live in Licking.
But it's not just me saying. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and impose a 90-day jail term, but I'm going to suspend 89 of those days, give you credit for the day that you've already spent in jail, all right? I'll put you on probation for a year. I'm going to order that you undergo a drug and alcohol assessment and follow up with any recommendations regarding counseling. You're not to consume any alcohol, use any illegal drugs, or abuse any prescription meds. And you're not to be in possession of any weapons. That means guns, knives, crossbows, machetes, what have you.
Interesting how you
And you're not to have any violent contact with
basically,
any
so he
family or
can't.
household members. So I'm not putting on a complete ban on contact with Sierra, but it can get physical. If it does, even if you don't get charged with a new crime, your probation could get revoked. You could end up serving those
Basically, like
89
if the
days.
cops
You
are called
understand?
out, you
Yeah,
I do understand that.
All right. So on
Watch your P's
the
and
domestic
Q's.
violence charge, I'll impose a $150 fine plus court costs, and I'll impose an additional $150 fine on the disorderly conduct charge. We will give you time to pay off your fines and costs. They'll tell you down there after we wrap things up how much you're going to owe and when it's due. But the main thing is you'll be reporting to the probation department upon your release from jail. Probably not today because by the time they process you out, it's going to be after 4:30. But you need to report tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. And they're going to schedule an appointment for you to go meet with
It's
your
1
PO
o'clock
and
there.
talk about these conditions
sure.
that I've imposed upon you. Do you
He still
understand?
thinks it's the same.
I do.
All right. So, Mr. Sutton, you have any other questions
Brad
today, sir?
Boogie, good to see you, buddy.
No, I don't at this time at all.
All right. Well, obviously, you know, yesterday is probably a day that you and the rest of the folks in your family would probably rather forget. The main thing is let's make sure we don't have any other days like that anytime soon. Okay.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Sutton, you may go with the officer. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You do the same, sir.
As he quickly exits the scene.
Yes.
He breaks out.
Waddle.
Alexis Wakeman.
Is there any way that somebody else didn't start a fight
Good
with
afternoon.
him?
Are you
I
Miss
feel
Wakeman?
like they did.
Yes, sir.
And you can go ahead and remove your mask for me, please.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Hello, Pike.
Ms. Wakeman, do you understand your rights in court today?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive a copy of the complaint that was filed against you?
Proper.
Yes, sir.
Did you read it? Did you understand what it is you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
You've been charged with disorderly conduct, and they're alleging it's persisting disorderly. What that means is that it's a more serious offense than just regular disorderly conduct. So as charged, you face a 4th-degree misdemeanor, and the maximum penalties for that are up to 30 days in jail, up to a $250 fine. How do you wish to plead to the charge?
Not guilty.
And what's your current address?
833 Tricolor Drive.
Kev, look at you. Thank you.
And who do you live there with?
Kev doing the
My
Lord's
mom and
work.
my dad.
All right. Are you? So let's see. You're what? 19 years old?
Yes, sir.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
And do you work?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm in college.
And where do you go to school?
A little bit.
I was at Ohio State, but I transferred to CUTC this semester for nursing.
Okay. And
There you go.
is this your first year of college?
It's my first official out. I did College Credit Plus in high school, so technically I'm a sophomore and a half in college.
Did you graduate from high school last year? Did you go to Reynoldsburg?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a quick look here at the file, and then we're going to talk about your bond. So bear with me, okay?
Seems like she's got it together.
Yeah, it does. Except
Maybe
for
just some anger issues, perhaps.
persisting anger issues.
Persistently angry.
Well, he
Young girl.
flips through some paperwork. We'll say join us back here 4:05 East for Mini Chase Monday, and we got a chase today. Anything? Any highlights? Any?
Creed, the whole thing is a highlight, but we're going to catch up on a chase that everybody said, hey, you guys missed a motorcycle chase from the other day in LA. So we got that.
All right.
As well as
All right. Who all lives at the house
a two-car
besides your mom and dad and you?
2 stolen cars at once. We
That's
chased.
it.
Okay. So no brothers or
More to
sisters
come.
that live there?
No, not anymore.
There's some I mean business glasses for sure.
That's what I was thinking. That she dropped to Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't think you can do nursing at that college.
Don't forget 5:30 East, members only for We Got a Chase channel. We missed it last week for YouTube reasons.
Yes, that's where we watch things that we don't really watch during the regular We Got a Chase. Yeah. Sue, you okay?
I was loud. I haven't heard the phone ring all day though.
It rang while you were gone. It rang while you were
did it?
gone.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
It rang. Everybody's like, answer the phone.
Big difference, right, Edward?
Not the Ohio State. She looks angry right now. I mean, I hate to say that about her, but she looks angry. Not too happy at all.
Late again. What are we gonna do? You're gonna be in front of Judge Stansbury here soon if you keep coming in so late.
I mean, I didn't want to bring that up, but it's possible.
Not sure. So every once in a while, we don't get the full story. You kind of got to read between the lines.
Do both your parents work, Miss Wakeman?
Oh, yes.
And what do they do?
My mom is the director for a church preschool, and my dad works for, I think, Yachio.
Okay. Well, you're going to be released on your own recognizance on the condition that you not have any violent contact with any family or household members, which means if the police get called because things get out of control again, even if they don't end up charging you with any new criminal offense, if there's credible evidence to believe that you violated that term of your bond, your bond can be revoked and you'd be stuck at the jail until your case were resolved. So it's important that you follow that rule. Now, this case is going to be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. We will send you a letter telling you when that's going to be. So make sure your address is correct on the bond paperwork that you'll sign down there after you and I finish. You have the right to hire counsel. Go out and hire a lawyer if you want. You're eligible to ask the court to appoint an attorney to represent you. You can get the form for that, the application, down there at the jail. But since I'm releasing you on your own recognizance, the jail will not send that down here for you. That'll be your responsibility. The key is if you want to get a lawyer, you need to make sure you deal with that well in advance of the next time you're supposed to be in court. If you don't want to get a lawyer, you don't have to do anything. The main thing is show up for your next court date, and if you want a lawyer, get one in right away. Any questions?
How long does it normally take for court dates to come after this session?
It'll probably get set somewhere around 3 to 4 weeks down the road, so fairly quickly. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Very well. Ms. Wakeman, you may go with the officer. Thank you.
Talk. It's just where you just go through it. It's just tips of penises or actual tips of good.
All right, Brenda Whitmer.
I get breastfeeding all the time. I don't know why.
That's a new one. I haven't had that yet on the old.
Tons of it, like tons
Good
of
afternoon.
breastfeeding.
Are you Miss Whitmer?
Yes.
Are you Miss Whitmer?
Brenda Whitmer.
Yes.
Brenda, take off
do you
your
understand
mask.
your rights in court today?
He hasn't asked her to.
I'm a little hard hearing.
Yeah. Do you understand your rights?
Huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're here because I issued a warrant for your arrest.
Huh?
5 years ago. Almost 6.
I had wrote you a letter 5 years ago, and I thought the charges were dismissed when I was in Arizona. But when I got pulled over, they said it was still active warrant.
It is still an active warrant. That's correct.
6 years.
You got, were you arrested by Columbus police?
By Franklin Township, that's where I live at, sir.
So they picked you up, drove you over to the county line, and our deputies brought you back?
Yeah, Columbus Police.
All right. Well, you've already entered a plea of not guilty to this a long time ago. The case was assigned to me. I issued the warrant when you failed to appear for your trial. So all I'm going to do today is simply set a bond for you, and we're going to get a new court date. Can you tell me what your address is currently?
I no longer have that kind of lifestyle, sir. I straightened up. I go to church now, and I do good. I don't hang around those kind of people anymore.
What is your address, ma'am?
And then I get into school and stuff. I got an apartment now, and I'm not homeless anymore.
All right. Well, what is your address, ma'am?
Huh?
Your address? Where you live? What's your address?
Once again,
I live at 763 Brown Road, Apartment A, Columbus, Ohio, 43223.
I have given up the life of prostitution, Your Honor. I no longer partake in that. So let's just
are you employed? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I can come back. I have a car that'll make it now. Last time my car broke down.
You have a job? Yeah, I got a car now.
So why were the police at your house?
Huh?
Why were the police at your house on, earlier this morning?
I went to the gas station to get some cigarettes, and my tires were bad on the car, but I have an appointment to get them fixed, and I hit a Chaco and weed, and that's why I got pulled over.
Oh. Huh?
And he is screaming into that thing too. That's what I love.
Yeah.
It's still,
Okay, so I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt today, which means you're going to sign off on some paperwork and promise to show back up for court when you're supposed to be here. If you don't, we're going to issue a new warrant, and you won't get an OR bond next time. Do you understand that?
Can you help me understand what he's saying, man? Because I'm not having to hear you. I gotta read his lips.
Bring on Sue.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today.
You hear that? He's gonna release you on the OR.
Thank you so much.
If you don't show up for your next court date, we're going to issue a new warrant for you.
Don't show up, you're gonna get a warrant.
I will show up.
And next time there won't be an OR bond.
No OR bond the next time.
No, I will. I paid every time I've been in your county, sir. That's both times. Thank you so much.
Now, you had a lawyer on this case, but that lawyer withdrew. So
That
if you
lawyer
want to get
died.
a court-appointed attorney, you're going to have to fill out a new application. They can assist you with that down at the jail, but it's your job to turn it in. Do you understand?
Okay.
And I'm not going to give you a continuance if you show up on the day of your trial and ask for more time to get a lawyer, because this case is already almost 6 years old, 7 years old. Understand?
I'm gonna give you an attorney for me, just make sure you turn it in, because he's not gonna let you ask for one on the day of court.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions today, Miss Whitmer?
Any questions?
Thank you. No, thank you very much. Have a
You may go
wonderful
with the
day.
officer. Thank you. And thank you, Sue.
Oh. Huh?
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great spot. A great spot to end it. You're not going to get any better than that. Huh?
No, that was beautiful. She just couldn't understand.
I love it
Could be.
because he was speaking up so much.
Could be
Still.
Kirnoth. He did his best with her. I mean, she was a little hard of hearing, slightly. Just slightly, though.
But
Wow,
great
what
she
a-
asked him that.
What a win for all of us involved.
Absolutely. Guys, we'll see you at 4:05 for Mini Chase Monday. And again, back at it at 5:30 for members only for the We Gotta Chase channel. Thank you, Angela, Gary, Mayor, Kev, and Kirnoth. Appreciate you guys. One last hallelujah for you. Thank you guys so much. That's a great spot to end it on. We won't forget her.
No, she was a lot of fun. 7 years. Maybe she'll get that cleared up. I'm guessing it was a drug charge because she's like, I don't do them people no more, Yana.
Not in that lifestyle no more.
I'm out of that. Not me no more. All right, guys. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you like the video if you haven't done so already. Check out our case only channel. We Got a Case. Let's push that to 1,000 subscribers if we could. And until the next time, stay safe.
On.
Well, you're presumed to be innocent as you stand there today, and I assume that unless the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But the main thing is just make sure you make your court dates, all right?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions today, Mr. Willie?
What are you doing using your big school words?
All right,
Just
you know
use
the
normal
drill.
people
You're
words
gonna
and
go
I'll
from court
understand what
to
you're
point
talking
and
about.
get the application